Hello, Spirit speaking. Here's a few moments I like to call the Cosmic Giggles. You know, those situations in life that all of us have had where something happens that just ticks you off, and later a light bulb goes off in your head when suddenly you realize that while you were busy doing damage control in the 3D, the universe may have been quietly running the bigger picture. And when that bulb is finally lit, sometimes the whole thing turns out to have been nothing short of a one-act comedy show. This is what happens when we skip the check-in. So there you are, trying to clean one small area, not the entire house, not the basement, and definitely not the garage. Not that one closet everyone has where holiday decorations, old bags, mystery cords, and emotional denial all live together in a tight-knit community. No, you're just cleaning one small area, maybe a drawer, maybe one shelf. Maybe one corner of the kitchen counter that has slowly become a landing strip for mail, receipts, lip balm, batteries, and one pen that hasn't worked for years. So you proceed to say, I'll just tidy this quickly. All right there, Spirit gently whispers, careful, because Spirit knows that quickly is one of the most dangerous words in the human language. But you are confident. You think, no, this'll be easy. I'm just clearing a small space. And that's when ego kicks open the door with a headset and a clipboard. All right, nobody move. This drawer is now an archaeological dig. Suddenly, this is not cleaning. This is an excavation. Ego steps forward like it has been personally appointed the curator of forgotten objects and unprocessed chapters. Begin with the surface debris. Sort into categories. Identify emotional artifacts. Prepare for unexpected memory exposure. Spirit says, beloved, just throw out the old receipts. Ego says, not until we understand what they represent. So you open the drawer. At first it seems normal. A few papers, a charger, a random elastic, a receipt, some coins, nothing dramatic. But then you find something from another era of your life. An old card, a note, a photo, a tiny object you forgot that you kept. And suddenly you are no longer cleaning. You are taking a time traveling. You pick it up and think, oh wow, I remember this. And just like that, the drawer has feelings. You sit down for a second, which is always the beginning of the collapse, because nobody sits down during cleaning and remains efficient. You sit down holding the object, and now your mind opens up a whole emotional file cabinet. You remember who gave it to you, where you were, what was happening in your life, who you were then, what you thought your life would look like by now. Ego whispers into the headset, we have uncovered a memory cluster. Spirit says, you can honor it and keep going. Ego says, no, Spirit, we need a full review. Now you're surrounded by piles. There's a keep pile, a throwaway pile, a maybe pile, and a why do I own this pile? And the most dangerous pile of all, I don't know yet pile. That pile will survive every cleaning attempt. That's the pile that has legal protection. You pick up an old charger. You don't know what it charges. You have not used it in years, but ego says, what if we need it? Spirit says, you don't even know what it belongs to. Ego says, exactly. The mystery increases its importance. So into the maybe pile it goes. Then you find an instruction manual for something you no longer own. You think, I can throw this out. Ego says, what if the object returns? Spirit says, objects do not return from the past seeking their manuals. But ego is not convinced. Now you find a birthday card. And this one slows you down. Because someone wrote something sweet inside. Not a novel, not a declaration. Just a few kind words from a version of your life that feels so far away. You read it once, and then again. And suddenly the room gets quiet. Spirit softens, because this part is not silly. This part is tender. But ego, of course, does not know how to be tender without forming a committee. Emotional artifact confirmed. Recommend preserving, reflecting, and possibly reevaluating every relationship connected to this period of time. Spirit says, no, beloved, it was a birthday card. But now your brain is off. You start thinking about friendships, then time, then change, and then how fast life moves. And then why you kept so many things. And whether you're sentimental or just avoiding decisions. And then whether the drawer is actually a metaphor. Spirit says, it's also just a drawer, beloved. Ego says nothing is just a drawer. Now the cleaning has spread. This always happens. You started with one drawer, but now the counter has become involved. Then the shelf, then the little basket on the table, then the bag beside the chair. Within 20 minutes, the room looks worse than when you started. This is one of those cleaning betrayals. To make things better, you first have to make everything look like a crime scene. You look around and think, what have I done? Ego says, progress. Spirit says, you've opened 7 categories at once. Ego says, this is called range. Now you're holding a broken pen, 3 keys that open nothing, a coupon that expired before your last personality shift, and a tiny screw from somewhere important. You do not know where the screw came from, but you are afraid to throw it away. Because what if the entire house is being held together by this one tiny screw? Spirit says, it's safe to release it. Ego says, put it in the miscellaneous container. Yes, the miscellaneous container. The place that objects go when humans are not ready to make a decision. This is not organization. This is a waiting room for clutter. Now you find something truly baffling. A cord. Not a charger, not headphones, just a cord. A black cord with no identity and suspicious confidence. You hold it up like evidence. Ego says, keep it. Spirit says, for what? Ego says, we'll know when the time comes. But the time has never come. The time will never come, but the cord somehow survives the cut. Now the small cleaning project has become a full life audit. You're not just asking, should I keep this? You're asking, who was I when I kept this? Why did I think I needed this? And what chapter of my life does this belong to? Am I clearing clutter or confronting my own attachment patterns? And Spirit gently says, both can be true, but you still need a garbage bag, beloved. That brings you back a little. You take a big deep breath, you start making simple decisions. Trash, keep, donate, recycle, let go, keep, trash. And with each decision, the room gets lighter. It's not perfect, not magazine ready, but definitely lighter. The old receipts go, the broken pen goes, the manual goes, and the mystery cord gets one final chance because apparently you're not spiritually ready to let it go. But the rest begins to move, and suddenly you realize something. The drawer was not attacking you. The clutter was not proof that you had failed. The old things were not demanding a life review. They were simply asking, do I still belong here? And that is a powerful question, not just for objects, but for thoughts, habits, and for old versions of ourselves. For the stories we carry because we never paused long enough to ask if they were still ours. And that's when you look up, give your head a shake, and look at Spirit. And Spirit gives you the cosmic wink.